In this video we're just going to create some simple select statements. We've got a select star from person. I'm going to explain what the star means and how we play around with this. So here's my data, here's my field names. This is my table person, field name, first name, last name, age and school. And then I've got my data being strings for the first names, strings for the last names, integers for the age, and zeros and ones for the Boolean values. And how we play around with these a little bit later on. Probably it's not going to be part of your exam question. It's going to be a little bit tricky to play with that. Just knowing the data type should be sufficient. So I'm going to hop over to something called SQL, and I'm going to delete this information here to begin with. There's many ways of doing this, but I want to actually type it in so that you understand what is going on. All the commands we're ever going to issue and what you will need to write in your exam paper will be a select statement. Select. What that means is choose something. And we see we've got the columns, first name, last name, age, and in school. And I could choose one of these, two of these, more of these, or in any order. So let's do that first. Let's just do first name, comma, last name. Okay, and then a keyword. So if we use select, you must use this keyword from. I don't know whether you can see it on the video, but that's purple, that's black, black, purple. And you have to say which table you're taking it from, because in your database you've got loads of tables. I've got blah, comments to person. It needs to know which table it's taking it from. So again, in the exam you'll probably only have one table. So I'm just going to type person, and that's my first query. It says select first name, last name from person, and when I press go, that's exactly what it does. It just gives me a table of values consisting of first name and last name. Notice I haven't got the in school or the age in here. So that's what select does. Select chooses something from the table, and that's what we've done. Let's just go back and create just a very quick query just to show that we can choose anything and in any order. So I'm going to type select in school, comma, last name, and then age at the end. So I've chosen only 3 of these, and I have to say from which table, from person, and when I press go, it gives me that information in that order. So in school is first, last name, and then age. So this is the records that were stored in my database. So what select is doing is what we call filtering through the database, and we're going to filter a little harder in a minute. So let's think. If I got some databases or some tables that have, let's say, 20 or 30 columns, I wouldn't want to be typing them all in. So what I use is something called a wildcard, and there are 2 wildcards in a database. One of them is a star, and the other one is a % sign. And you can't use a % sign after the word directly after the word select. You've got to use the star, and that means all. Select all of these from person. So if I use the star as a wildcard, it will select all of them. So there we go. We've got all the field names and the data associated with it. So that is my first look at SQL statements with the word select, but we need to do a little bit more. We need to start filtering, and we can see the filter there, and we need to know how to use it. And only in the filter will we use the other wildcard which I mentioned, the % sign. So we can only use the wildcard star there, which means all, and % sign I will explain a little bit later.